Hello friends, welcome to edivo.net tutorial. In this video, we will see how to fill dataset with multiple data tables. These are all the slide decks from our previous videos in this sub-series. Now let us proceed with populating dataset with multiple tables. A dataset can hold multiple data tables and even can maintain relationship between those tables, right? Now in this video we will concentrate about having multiple data tables inside the dataset. We can frame a SQL with a multiple select statement separated by semicolon and give that select statement to the data adapter. So here if you see, the select statements are: one is taking data from region, and the next select statement is taking data from territories, and third one is taking data from employees table. So we are taking data from three different tables from the database, and the queries are separated by semicolon. Right here you can see a semicolon. In SQL data adapters fill method, we can pass a data set. Adapter will keep each result in a separate data table. So this means here we create the data adapter by making use of the str SQL which we formed previously, right? And we specified the connection string also. The tables are in the Northwind database, and here we gave the str SQL to SQL data adapter. So SQL adapter is formed here, right? Next, we create the data set, and in the adapters fill method we pass the data set. Now what happens, the fill method will execute all these three queries, and the outcome of these queries are kept in a separate data table inside this data set. So if you see here, this is the data set DS. So adapter is picking the data from three different tables in the database, right? And it gives that to the data set. Here we will be having three different data tables, right? By default we will be having the name table, table 1 and table 2, right? So it's the duty of fill method to execute all the underlying query, and we know that there are three queries, so it forms three data table, and what we gave to the fill method is the data table, right? That's the input we gave to the fill method. So fill method will make use of this data table, and it knows that there are three different data results, and those are kept inside a separate data table. By default, the data table in the dataset is named as table, table 1, table 2 as shown here, right? Using the table mapping, we can set a meaningful name for the data tables contained inside the dataset. So here is how we will do it. Adapter.tablemappings.add. We know the default name table, table 1 and table 2, and we are setting the mapping here. Call table as region, table 1 as territory, table 2 as employee. We can also use the column mapping to set a meaningful name for the columns. Here we set meaningful name for the data table. The same way you can set meaningful name for the columns using the column mappings. In this video, we will fill dataset with three tables, with three table results pulled from the Northwind database. Now let's go to the demo. So in the table, if you see, we added the code for launching the ex04 example, and ex04 example contains a form with 3 different data grid view, and these are all 3 different labels, right? And the labels are named as, you can see the name here, LBL DS1, DS2 and DS3, right? Similarly, we have data grid view and we named it as DGV region, DGV territory and DGV employees. Here, this is the fill method, and fill method we already wrote code, and whatever you saw in the slide, the same we kept here. This is the STR-SQL with 3 different query. Here we are setting the column mapping for the table 1 and table 2. Here we create a data set and make a call to fill method of adapter. After that, we set name, label, text is there, right? From data adapter, we take the table collection and access the table name property, and that way we set name for our text. So after setting the name for all our label, we set the data source property for all our data grid view. And if you see, since our data set contains 3 tables, we make use of data table collection and we pick the tables of 0, tables of 1 and tables of 2. Tables of 0 will represent our first result set region, tables of 1 will represent our second result set territory, and tables of 2 will represent our third result set from employees table. And we are setting these data table to all 3 different data sources of our data grid view. So that's all here. Now we will execute it to see the result. So you can see that the data tables from dataset is picked and they are assigned to each of these data grid view which present in this form. That's all here in this example. Thank you for watching. Bye.